Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Maze Runner, Chapter 9. And this chapter starts with everyone being a little freaked out over this girl. And so after Newt reads the letter to everyone out loud saying, "This is the last one ever," people are just quiet. Now, you would think, and this is what Thomas thinks, that everyone would be like, "What do you mean? What's going on?" Asking questions, talking to each other, running around, like doing something. But instead, everyone is just, whoa, thinking to themselves. Maybe there's some small talk here and there, but it's just quiet. And it's a little weird. Albie calls over the Medjacks, which we learn are just like the doctors. They don't have doctors here, but they're the nurses or whatever. Calls over the Medjacks, and the Medjacks are looking at the girl, checking her pulse, and one goes down to listen to her breathe, and then one of the kid makes a joke. Hey, why does I can't remember the boy's name. Why does he get to have the girl first? Why does he get to kiss her or be with her, whatever? He just calls it out as a joke, and everyone starts laughing. And then Albie gets this really crazy look on his face, and it's just kind of it's a little grin, and he's like, "If any of you touch her," right? And he's serious, right? He's like, "I will throw you out to the grievers. Like, if anyone messes with this girl or tries to touch her in a bad way," Albie says that they're dead. Like, he's just gonna banish them from the camp, so they're not allowed to come back. They have to stay outside, which is pretty much a death sentence. And everyone, he just says it slowly, and he turns, he looks at everyone's face. Whoa, that's serious. The Medjacks pick her up, and they take her to the homestead, I guess, next to where Ben is. As Thomas is just experiencing all this and observing it all, he just feels something so powerful that he's connected to this girl. He doesn't remember her at all, and but still, there's something that he feels is important about this girl. When he sees her get picked up, and she almost goes into the air because she's so light, his heart, vocabulary word from last time, kind of jumps into his chest. There's this concern that he feels, something really powerful that he can't explain, that they are connected in some way. And again, seeing her makes him want to be a runner even more, and that doesn't make any sense. After everyone leaves, Albie and Newt kind of go to Thomas again and like, "Hey, are you sure you don't know anything about her?" And Thomas is like, "No, I don't." And Newt is like, "Hey, it's all right. Are you sure you don't know anything about her?" And Thomas again is like, "I don't know anything." He's so afraid that they can sense they can sense what he's thinking, that he's thinking, "Oh man, maybe we're connected." Well, Albie and Newt leave Thomas alone, but Albie says, "Call a gathering for tonight." And then they go away. And then Chuck comes back, and Thomas is like, "Hey, Chuck, what's a gathering?" And Chuck tells him that it's when some of the important people in the glade get together and talk, especially after weird things happen or bad things happen. As Thomas is talking with Chuck, he's just thinking. He's like, "Hey, Chuck, how does one become a runner?" And Chuck is like, "Not that again." And he looks at him like he's crazy. And he's like, "Well, Albie told me that I'm going to start testing out jobs. When do I get to test the runner's job?" And Chuck is like, "Man, go ask them about it if you want to know. I don't know anything." And then Thomas kind of gives up, and he's like, "All right, look, well, get me some food because I'm starving. I didn't get to finish breakfast." So they go to the kitchen, I guess. And Chuck is like, all right, but this is the last time I'm going to get you some food because I don't want Fry Pan to kill me. But Chuck makes him some sandwiches, and they eat sandwiches, and Thomas is feeling so much better after he gets some food in his body. And then he can just, luckily, Chuck isn't trying to make jokes or say something. Chuck is just eating a sandwich, and so Thomas is just thinking. He has a few important thoughts. One, he's going to stop complaining. He's just going to take it how it is and live the best he can. Two, he's like, oh man, are we in a prison? And Chuck is like, what? What are you talking about? It's like, maybe we're criminals. Maybe we did something really bad and we're in prison. And Chuck's like, dude, look at me. I'm like 12 years old. What could I have done to go into prison? And Thomas is like, I don't know, but it's like we're in a prison. And Chuck doesn't really agree with him, and Thomas gets frustrated because it's really hard to talk to Chuck about really difficult or really important things, because Chuck is just little. He's just a kid. And so he's like, all right, fine. Go make yourself another sandwich. I'm going for a walk. And he just takes off. And he just kind of goes on a tour by himself. He goes and looks at the garden, and he kind of smells the air. Smells good. And someone waves to him. And he's like, oh, maybe this place isn't so bad. And then he goes over to to where the animals are, and they smell dirty, but it's still not that bad. And just kind of giving himself a tour. And then he's like, I'm going to go over to where the graveyard is. And he starts walking in, and something moves quickly. And at first he thought it was a rat. But then there's this the sun kind of shines off the metal, and he can see 6 legs, which a rat doesn't have 6 legs. And he sees that, oh, it's more like a lizard, and it's running away into the forest. And Thomas is kind of looking at it, and then he thinks he sees, and he doesn't know because it's pretty far, the word wicked on the lizard. And he's like, wicked? Oh, it should probably be in caps here in the notes, because it sounds like a name or an acronym. And he's like, I need to go find this out more. And he runs to go capture this lizard robot thing into the forest. And that's how the chapter ends. Vocabulary. There were actually quite a bit of vocabulary in this chapter also. The first one is dumbfounded. You probably know dumb already, but dumbfounded is just like, brrr. Like something is so shocking, your brain just goes, you're dumbfounded. And at the start of the chapter, it seems like everyone is dumbfounded. What? They're just silent thinking. Contrary. Contrary means opposite. I can't remember exactly how it was used in the story. Maybe, I can't remember. But the way I think about it is when I see a young kid, maybe 4 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old, and they are contrary. Anything you say to them, that child says the opposite. Do you want ice cream? No, I don't like ice cream. What? Do you want some candy? No, I don't want candy. Okay. Do you like eating mud? Or that's not maybe you say, you don't like eating mud. Yes, I do. Mud is delicious. Oh, anything you say, they just say the opposite. That is contrary. And in this case, it's probably contrary to popular belief. That's kind of an expression we use. Contrary to belief. For example, contrary to popular belief, all Americans don't have guns. Usually in media, internationally, America's like a place that everyone has a gun. Well, that's not true. A lot of people don't have guns in America. Some people have a lot of guns in America, but the opposite of something else. Coma or usually we have the article a coma. So when someone is in a coma, that means they're sleeping. Their brain kind of has turned off and they're just sleeping for days and days and days and days and days. Maybe they'll wake up, maybe they won't, but they're not active anymore. Praying mantis. Here's a picture of one. These are one of my favorite insects. They're so cool. But when, I think maybe Jeff was his name, bends down to pick up the girl, he looks a little bit like a praying mantis. Gut clenched. When they kind of throw the girl up too high, something happens in Thomas's stomach. It kind of goes like, ooh, you know, that fear. It's a little bit similar to heart in your throat, but that's a different feeling. Like it's in your throat, but gut clench is what, ooh, you know, like someone punched you in this. Oh, something feels wrong or scary, something like that. Grilling me. Grilling is like asking a question over and over and over again, or different questions. Where were you last night? Who were you with? Where did you go? Why did you go there? What did you do? Mom, whoa. Why are you grilling me? Asking me question after question after question after question. And that's how Thomas feels as Albie and Newt keep asking him, do you know her? Do you know her? Do you know her? So, whoa, why are you grilling me? And then they kind of relax. Whacked. Whacked means not right. Usually crazy. Something is whacked. Something is broken. Something is not right. Something is crazy. Wig out. Wig out means go crazy. But if you think of like in a movie, a robot. If you throw water on this robot, it will wig out. It will just do unpredictable things and be crazy. And I can't exactly remember what wigs out in the story. And I believe the last vocabulary word is sentenced. You probably know what a sentence is, but sentenced means to have a judgment placed on you. So when Thomas is talking about prison, maybe we were sentenced to prison. Maybe the punishment of our crime was to spend our life in this prison. That was the consequence. That was the sentence of my action. So usually it's used in like a legal way. When someone does something bad and then the judge or the jury say, you did something bad, this is your punishment. That punishment is your sentence. And that's what you have to do. Discussion question. All right. Do you think you could live in the glade? All right. There are two moments in this chapter. One where Thomas says, I'm going to stop whining and I'm just going to accept it. And then two, where someone waves at him in the garden. He says, oh, maybe it'll be okay here. Well, what do you think? In this environment, with all this crazy stuff, do you think you could live in the glade? And maybe, like Chuck, be a little happy. Chuck is pretty happy here in the glade. And Thomas even says, don't say, and I think he kind of stops it because he knows Chuck will be like, yeah, this is better than living in a pile of clunk. You know, we have work, we have food, we have shelter. It's not too bad, except for all the danger around him. Do you think you could live in the glade? And if you're a girl, maybe you can imagine if they're all girls. If you're a boy, then it's just already like it is. But do you think you could do it? I don't know. And of course, please write your own discussion question. Thank you so much for already writing your discussion questions. They're so wonderful and I enjoy them so much. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.